Hi, my name's Steven. I'm the little brother.
My name's Kevin. I'm the middle brother.
My name's David. I'm the biggest of all the brothers.
This is the Brothers Born podcast. The three of us don't see each other very often, so we decided that this is how we're going to hang out. We hope that y'all like listening. All right, talk to you soon. Hey, everyone. So we have a little surprise today. David, he couldn't make it this week, so we decided to do something a little unconventional, but exciting all the same. Today we welcome a special guest. She is my niece and Kevin's daughter. Say hello to Kali. Kali, how are you?
Good.
Good. So, we're excited to have you here on the show today with Kevin and I, and we're going to talk a little bit about Pokemon, as that is a pretty hot topic. But before we get into that, kids grow up, and about 18, they go off to college. And that's a hard time for parents sometimes because their kids are away. Or if they don't go to college, maybe they join the military, such as yourself, Kevin. Or maybe they start a job.
Yep.
Whatever they might do. There's another world all three of us love, and that's the world of Pokemon. And kids leave home a lot sooner in that world. Whether you're in Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, Kalos, Alola, or Galar region, hope I said all those right, you leave a little bit earlier than 18. In fact, some of those, I think most of them, you leave when you're 10 years old. So, Kali, how old are you?
I'm 10.
Oh, man. So, I got some questions for you. Let's say we're in the world of Pokemon, and you're 10 years old. It's time to start your adventure. How would you feel about that?
Excited, but also really sad at the same time.
Okay. Why would you be sad?
Because leaving is something that makes a lot of people sad, and that would be me included.
Yeah, for sure. It would be tough. Now, Kevin, how would you feel knowing that your 10-year-old daughter is going out in the world? How would you feel?
Well, if we're talking about today's world, then obviously that's a little extreme, Kali. No offense, but I don't think you're quite ready to make it on your own yet. But in the Pokemon world, that's perfectly acceptable.
I will say, I think the Pokemon world's a little safer than our world. There's not as many evil people in the Pokemon world, but still kind of scary though, having a 10-year-old leave.
So, Kali, we're making the assumption that we're living in a Pokemon world, and you're about to go become a Pokemon trainer. Got to catch them all. What's your starter Pokemon?
I think I would go with Fire type.
Fire type, okay.
Because as far as I know, I've been doing that quite often. So, and for Fire type, I think I would pick Vulpix.
Vulpix. Oh, interesting. That's a good one. I think I think that if I remember right, Vulpix evolves into Ninetales, and that's David.
No, that's true.
David. That's one of David's favorite Pokemon, if I remember correctly.
Also one of my favorite.
I would start with water. I love water, especially when I'm talking old school Pokemon, which is what I'm more familiar with. Squirtle's always been my favorite, so I would start with water for sure. I know every time I played the game, I started with all of them, but water would be my first choice.
But which one? Are you talking about Squirtle, or are you talking about?
Squirtle, all the way.
Yeah. My starter type would have to be. I think I'd also have to go with the fire type, to be honest.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think I'd probably go with Scorbunny.
The new one from the from Sword and Shield. Yeah.
Either that or I'm gonna stick to that. I'll stay with that.
I love Scorbunny, and so I play Pokemon Shield, and you know how you can trade a random Pokemon to the rest of the world. I traded some really weak Pokemon, and I got a Scorbunny. I was pretty excited about it.
Like a Magikarp?
Yeah, it was a Magikarp or some weaker Pokemon you get in the beginning. But I was pretty excited. But
can you imagine you start your Pokemon journey with a Magikarp?
Oh, dude, that'd be so fun. You could splash all over the place, and that's all you could do.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so we have our starter Pokemon. Now let's talk about our dream team. I fall into this trap with the Pokemon games where I'm trying to get I try to catch them all and try to make them all powerful. And sometimes that really bogs you down gameplay-wise. So I end up funneling down to like my 6 main guys. So you don't have to say all 6 necessarily, but who would be on your dream team? I'll go first. I think I would have my evolved Squirtle into Blastoise. Gengar has been my ghost Pokemon. Pidgeot, because I love Pidgeot. See, I'm going for all the old ones here. But I'd have a Raichu, one of the legendary birds, probably like Moltres, and my 6th one, I already have a ghost type. I guess I'd go for like Abracadabra, Alakazam. Alakazam, that's the one. So that'd probably be one of my dream teams. And I guess that's pretty fluid. I could change that, but right now that's my dream team.
All right, I can buy that. Let's see who would be on my dream team. Of course, since Score Bunny is my first one, we got to have. Well, he wouldn't be a Score Bunny anymore, but got to have him in there. Mewtwo, for sure, because that's my favorite Pokemon of all. Let's see. Well, my legendary bird would be Zapdos.
Okay, Zapdos is pretty cool.
Zapdos, that's my dude. I also would have a Gengar for sure.
He's the man. He's my 3rd favorite Pokemon.
And then my last one would be Lucario. I'm going to go for Lucario.
Ooh, nice. I don't know much about Lucario. He looks cool.
See, he does look cool.
Kali, what would your dream team be?
So I would have Ninetales.
Of course.
Gyarados. Because he's awesome. He's awesome.
He's super
Alakazam. Cool. And Articuno.
Oh.
And then this part I get a little bit confused because I don't know. I don't really have like lots of favorite Pokemon. So I think Magmar.
He's cool.
And Pikachu.
Gotta have Pikachu, yeah. So
you gotta have Pikachu.
There's a little bit of overlap for the 3 of us. We both
you realize we all 3 picked a different legendary bird though?
Yeah, and that's really cool. I know there's like legendary dogs too, right? Isn't there legendary dogs or something?
I don't know. I lost track.
But that's cool. So we all 3 got our dream team. Who do you think would be the most likely to become a Pokemon champion between the 3 of us?
Of the 3 of us? Oh, I don't know. I mean, Kali's still 10, so he fits the mold, so to speak.
I'm almost done with my Pokemon game.
Oh yeah, you have Sun and Moon, right? You're playing Sun and Moon?
Yeah, I'm almost done with it, man.
I think I would be the least likely to be a Pokemon master. Just based off of my experience playing the games, I'd get to the 4th badge, and then I'd probably just end up getting a job at the Poke Store or something like that. Just knowing my personality, oh, here's your rare candies, here's your antidotes, and
I would like to think I'd at least work at the Pokemon Center. I don't look like Nurse Joy though, but I am trying to be a nurse, so
there you go.
Maybe.
I think Kali, you're most likely to be the Pokemon master of the 3 of us. So what kind of steps, what do you think you would have to do? I mean, you have your Pokemon, your dream team. What other things would you have to be a Pokemon master, Kali?
Well, obviously you have to have your revives. I mean, those are always handy.
Yes, absolutely. You gotta
your
have
revives, your potions, all that kind of stuff.
Definitely. High potions.
Those are essential.
Super potions. I was thinking high potion. What's super potion? Then there's
hyper potions.
Hyper potions. That's right. That's the biggest one.
I think they also have max potions. At least in Alola they have that.
But that's cool. Yeah, you got to have all the right supplies. Definitely. You're right there. You
supplies. Otherwise, if you don't have the supplies, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
To include Pokeballs.
You include that too, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have the right Pokeball.
Especially if you want a legendary bird. No ordinary Pokeball is going to catch that thing. You need
a Master Ball or something.
Ultra Ball. I remember when I played the first Pokemon game, Blue or Red, but I think it was Blue. I couldn't catch Zapdos to save my life. I ended up using my 1 Master Ball on them, and then I couldn't use them to catch Mewtwo later. I got so upset with myself.
Yeah, I got a Master Ball way earlier in the game, and I'm I'm not gonna use it, even though there have been some desperate situations where I really want to. I'm not gonna use it until I know for sure I'm gonna have to use it.
Yeah. You need to save that. That's another good trait of being a Pokemon master is knowing how to buy supplies and use your supplies wisely and thrifty, so that you can, you gotta get it all in the beginning. You gotta work for it, steady, level up.
Even though I do have an odd habit of using quick balls.
Quick balls are awesome.
They're awesome.
So, okay.
Most of the Pokemon I caught are with quick balls.
Let's talk about areas. Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, Kalos, Alola, and Galar. Which region do you think you'd be the most successful in, and which one's your favorite?
I'm going to go with Galar.
Galar, that's the Sword and Shield region?
Yep.
I'm sticking with Kanto, the original one, just because I know it the best.
I've only played two games, so out of those 2 games, I think I'd go with the Aloha region.
Yeah, I think that suits you. I mean, you all lived in Hawaii for a little while, so it's sort of similar, isn't it? Kind of, it's like an island or something.
It's a chain of islands. There's 4 of them, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's more than 4.
So it'll be a great time.
All right, so
well, not in Hawaii.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. So if you were going to pick like a certain Pokemon type, because when you go to the gym, every gym leader is like a master of a type. So you have like the leaf type gym leader. So what would your gym be? What would your type be?
That's a good question. I would be the water for sure, because my favorite Pokemon is Squirtle. My favorite Pokemon is Gyarados. Second favorite Pokemon is Squirtle. So those would be my 2 guys. Like Gyarados, he'd be Blastoise hopefully by the time, or depending on what badge number I am, maybe he'd still be a War Turtle. I don't know. But those would be my 2. And I'd probably have some other water Pokemon there. I like Wooper a lot as well. I think he's funny.
I think I'd be a fairy type.
Fairy type. Interesting.
Yeah.
Fairy type?
Because even though, I'm not, most of the fairy type Pokemon I don't end up catching in my game, but I really like the fairy type.
Which one's your favorite fairy type?
I think of fairy type. My favorite would have to be Corilla.
Oh, okay. I don't know that one, but is
It's
Clefairy...
a fairy psychic type.
Okay.
It's one of those 2 type deals.
Clefairy and Clefable are fairy type, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then is Chansey a fairy type Pokemon?
I don't actually know.
I don't know, because it was...
I think it's a normal type, though.
Yeah, I think it's colorless.
Okay, gotcha. So, all right, Kevin, what gym type would you be?
Either psychic or dark. I want to say psychic because Mewtwo's my favorite, but I think when it comes to like overall type wise, I'd have to go with dark. So yeah, I'll go dark type. Yep.
You're talking like
Umbreon.
Yeah, Umbreon is cool. Inkay is kind of cool. I don't know. I like dark type.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of them. You don't see a lot of them though.
No, you don't.
Or it'd say it takes a normal one and makes it a dark type. At least on the old cards, I remember I had a dark Steelix or something like that, or like a dark Charmeleon. Oh, and I'm like, these are like the bad ones.
Well, I have a dark Charizard.
Oh yeah, I do too. I think I had a foil one of that, and I felt so cool. I was like, man, I got a foil dark Charizard.
Mine's not foil.
Or maybe it was Kevin's foil and I stole it. I don't know. One of us had a foil dark Charizard.
Want to buy comment?
Oh, well, Steve does have a habit of stealing my things.
It's true. I have a lot of your things.
Yes,
Still,
you
to
do.
this day, I sold a couple of your things. So, but we won't get into that today.
He stole my trombone, stole my guitar.
I still have the guitar. One of David's kids has the trombone right now. Circle back real quick. I just double checked. Chansey is normal type. You're right. For some reason, I was thinking he's fairy type.
Those kind of look like it would be a fairy type, though.
Yeah. When I was a little kid, when I was younger than Kali, and Pokemon was like really a big thing in like 1997 or 1998, whatever it was, I had a friend who wanted to marry a Chansey when he got older.
I remember that kid.
I was like, whatever you want to do, man. You do your thing. I still remember that.
Weird. That was Tommy, right? Or
No, it wasn't him. I won't say who it is in case they listen to but it wasn't Tommy. But I did have a friend who wanted to marry a Chansey.
I do remember vaguely remembering that.
So let's talk a little bit about Kali. You're 10 years old. You're going on your Pokemon adventure. You're on your own. So, how would you get by the tough times?
Well, in that kind of world, Pokemon are your friends,
Yeah, good point.
Especially the ones that are like nice and soft.
I thought you meant like other trainers' friends. I was gonna say, stay away from Brock. What's with Brock anyways? He never opens his eyes.
Yeah, that's funny.
He's just tired all the time, I guess. Or maybe you can see through his eyes. But that's a good, Kelly, that's a good point. You know, you don't have your family nearby, but you get your Pokemon friends. You can cuddle with them, and you can vent to them. I think they're kind of like pets to a certain degree. I know, y'all have pets. I have a dog, and sometimes no one understands me better than my pet, and I think you can relate to that too. You can talk to them, vent to them. They're there to support you for sure.
Although I don't recommend Kali, I don't recommend you cuddle with the bearded dragon.
No, I don't recommend that either. He's kind of pokey.
All right, let's go back to Kevin now. How would you deal with like Kali's gone on her adventure? You don't know what's going on. Even if it's the Pokemon world, it's still a little bit dangerous. Like, how would you get by? Like, how would you sleep at night?
Well, I'd probably sleep in my bed.
What would help you sleep at night?
Are we assuming this is like our real world or like the Pokemon world? Because the Pokemon world apparently is perfectly normal and fine. Ash's mom was like, oh, like every once in a while, like she contacts him, is like, hey, how's it going? Like, hey, I've been lost in the woods for like the past few months, but
I felt like 80 kakunas.
But it's fine. So I don't know. So in the Pokemon world, I'd just be like, yeah, okay, whatever, cool. But in the real world, I'd be like, what the heck, Also, why are there Pokemon in the world?
That's a good point. I mean, how cool would it be if Pokemon were real, though? Let's be honest.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be so cool. I mean, I'm not even talking about battling with them. I just have like Pokemon just because they're cool. Like
Pokemon
cool
all over the place.
I'd just be hanging out with them, and if I feel the same way about Pokemon as I do about like my dog, or y'all do about your bearded dragon and your mice and rats and stuff, your other pets you have, I think that like I would love these Pokemon so much, and I just want to. They'd bring me so much joy.
Yeah, I think though, like Pokemon in real life will look different than they do in the show, which
for sure.
I mean, Detective Pikachu did a pretty good job of rendering Pokemon in a more realistic fashion.
Yes.
Detective Pikachu's awesome, man.
That was a good movie. I actually have a poster of it on my desk right here. I'm looking at it right now as we're talking.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. When I saw the movie like the day it came out, so I got this poster, and right next to it I have my poster I got from Sword and Shield release. So I got a lot of cool dorky posters.
Come on, posters.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu was really cool. I liked that movie, and I think it did a nice way of depicting what it could be like to live in a world with Pokemon. And that the world in that movie was kind of more akin to our world. There's a couple bad dudes in it. That might be more like what if we kind of took our world and the world of Pokemon and made it like combine them. I feel like Detective Pikachu is a good way of kind of capturing that. So here's a question. Kali, you're on your Pokemon adventure, and Team Rocket shows up. And they're like, hey, you want to join us? Or you want to fight us?
Dude, I would party with Jesse and James any day.
So, Kali, what would you do if you're Team Rocket? They have a kind of a history of being bad. They do some unethical experiments with Pokemon. They do some dark things.
They also do some really weird things.
That's true, they do. And they have weird teleportation tiles just that take you random places in buildings. So that's pretty cool. I would like to try that out. But I don't know, I guess, how would you, Team Rocket approaches you, and what would you do? Would you join them or fight them?
I think I'd fight them because it'd be a good experience too.
Yeah, you would get lots of experience points. That's for sure.
Yes, you would.
All right, Kevin, sounds like you kind of would party with them. You join them up. You join up.
I mean, I don't know if I'd join Team Rocket, but I certainly party with them. Dude, Team Rocket's cool.
Yes, they are.
Their zaniness they got going on. Team Rocket blasts off again. I have a Team Rocket. I actually have a Team Rocket wallet.
Oh, do you really?
Yes.
That's awesome. Oh, check that out. That's so cool. What's that? In Sword and Shield, there's another group. It's not Team Rocket. It's like
Team Yell.
Yeah,
Team Yell. Yeah.
They don't seem quite as diabolical as Team Rocket to me. I haven't beat the game yet. I mean, I haven't really played it that much lately,
and then in Sun and Moon, it's Team Skull.
Team Skull. Okay.
Team Yell is funny though because they're like just a bunch of punk dudes just like creating mischief. They're not really doing anything. They're like blocking your road. Like you can't pass by unless you yell. Okay.
And they're they're the girl trainer in the game that she's like part of Team Yell. She's like way nicer than like Giovanni from Team Rocket. That he's a bad dude, man. He'd be kind of rough sometimes. You're on your Pokemon adventure, and at least in the beginning, you're walking everywhere. That's a lot
Everywhere.
of walking. At least until you get your bike voucher. Then you can ride your bike. But I guess in the game they don't really capture this, but I think it's something we have to consider. Where do you sleep? Where do you camp as a Pokemon trainer? Like, where do you go?
On Sword and Shield, it appears like you can camp everywhere.
You could camp. That's true. In Sword and Shield, there's camp. You can play with your Pokemon, feed them and stuff. That's true.
And in Sun and Moon, there's a bunch of hotels.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Obviously, I'm not up on my Pokemon game because I have the first one. You don't sleep anywhere, but
in a cartoon, they just camp. They get lost all the time too.
They do.
They do get lost.
Do you remember in the cartoon, that episode where like Ash tries like letting Pikachu go back to his like other Pikachus in the forest or whatever?
Yeah.
I cried so hard when I was a little kid, and like Pikachu left, and he came back, and I remember it was like Pokemon. I watched it before school. It came on after RoboCop, and I watched it before I went to school, and I remember that episode made me cry. I was like, just so sad. Pikachu's leaving. But it was an emotional moment for me.
What about the Pokemon movie, the first anime one, where they have like the evil clones of the Pokemon? They're fighting each other and junk.
Yeah, I cried when Ash turned into stone, I think. Or maybe I didn't cry, but the person next to me did.
Somebody was crying. So I think I took you to that movie.
You did. I remember. That was a good time, man. But some like little girl, or maybe it was me, I don't know. Someone was crying during that part. Okay, so let's kind of go back to Kali being on her Pokemon adventure. I know you talked about how Ash's mom would write them sometimes or pop up once in a while. How would you support Kali while she was on her Pokemon adventure, Kevin? What would you try to do for her?
Well, I don't cook, but I'd have. Actually, now I think about it, do you think it's kind of weird that all these characters in Pokemon are like, they only have like one parent?
That's true. That's right. Ash only has his mom. Interesting.
Even in the games, it's always like it's just the mom, like Sun and Moon.
The mom never unpacked.
Yeah,
I go back to this day and she still hasn't unpacked.
Yeah. She's trying to unpack and she never finishes. Or in Sword and Shield, it's like the mom, but Pokemon seems to be a world that has like no males in it, or very few males, which is kind of weird.
That's true. I think it's better. Like it's better in the newer games, but back in the first one, there was guys, but yeah, you're right. There was a lot more females. I think
it's kind of odd.
It is.
Maybe they're just all at work or something.
So, in their situation, let's say that you and Tasha you're both there in the picture. There's two parents for Kali. How would y'all support her?
I don't know. Send her some food, maybe.
Some food, some curry.
Probably some shoes, because she's gonna be walking that much. She's gonna need new shoes pretty quick.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I wonder who our Professor Oak would be.
You know, I was just thinking about that. Here's what I want. I would be Professor Oak. So I wouldn't be a Pokemon trainer, but like I like science, and I think I could see myself becoming like Professor Oak as an older man. I could see myself doing that. So
you're Professor Oak. I'm Nurse Joy.
Yes. And Kali's the Pokemon Master.
Okay. Where does that leave David? Officer Jenny, or
he's like, let's see. He's the guy that like where the Pokemon can go and you like the nursery. You drop them off and they stay there for a while if you don't feel like using them in your team, but they level up and stuff. Maybe David could run the nursery.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I want him to be one of those random people just standing around outside in the woods somewhere. It's just like, let's have a battle now.
Yeah,
and you're like, what? Like, why? What are you doing out here?
Oh yeah, like all the Pokemon trainers are like everywhere in the game.
They're just like standing there waiting for somebody to walk by them.
So
they always have something snarky to say too.
There's this one place in Sun and Moon. It's called the Battle Buffet, and before you eat, you have to battle so many trainers. Because there's only like one portion of food, and somebody else wants it. So you have to battle them, and whoever wins gets the food.
That's not really a buffet, then, is it?
No, I don't know why they call it that.
So I'm looking at some of those old Pokemon trainers. I'm wondering which one David would be. I feel like he'd be one of the bug guys.
Yeah.
Like those skinny dudes in the woods who like, my Butterfree will take you down. Sorry, he's gonna be so mad when he hears this.
He's like, he busts out like his Butterfree, and you have like a Gyarados or something.
Yeah.
Like,
And you smoke
okay.
him in one hit, and he's like, "I'll get you next time," or something
That
like that.
happens all the time in my game. Like I have these, like all the trainers in the roads. I come up next to one. Most of the time, I try to avoid them so I can hurry up and get to them later. Especially if my Pokemon are like high level or anything. But when I do cross paths with them, most of them, especially now, most of them I take their Pokemon out in like one hit, and then I feel so bad for them.
David would be that
I'm
guy
sorry.
who uses like you get in a battle and he uses like Leer or Growl, and you're like, that doesn't do anything to me. Like lower my defense for like a turn,
Maybe
whatever.
5 turns.
I'll smoke you anyway. He's trying to be strategic, but really, let's be honest. I mean, Pokemon, there is a certain amount of strategy, but there comes a point where you just attack. You don't really. I don't. At least personally, I don't ever really use those status
There's
effects
this one
things very
move called
often.
Roar, and what
Oh, yeah.
and what it does is if you have a battle against a single Pokemon in the wild, you just automatically end that battle. But if you're with a trainer, it swaps that Pokemon out for another Pokemon,
Oh, yeah.
but you don't get to pick what it is. So it's just like roar, roar, and doesn't do anything.
Why doesn't
Evan?
anybody in Pokemon world have a car?
I think they do in the cartoon, don't they?
And if they do have a car, they like never use it.
Weird.
Because there's a bunch of cars parked outside one of the hotels.
Oh,
in
that's
Sun
true.
and Moon, and I never see anybody going in or out. Like one time there was a Team Skull guy. He was just sitting on the bed of a truck, but he never went anywhere after that. He was just sitting on the truck.
They're just chilling on the. They have the vehicles, but they don't use them. They're like, I'll just walk everywhere, or I'll just fly on my Pidgeot.
Or Charizard.
So, in summary, I'm glad that, like, in the Pokemon world, if Kali was going to go on an adventure, she'd probably be pretty safe. Because, I mean, in the Pokemon world anyway. Because in this world, probably wouldn't be so great. But in the Pokemon world, I'm glad that it'd be safe, and I think you'd be a good Pokemon master, Kali.
Thanks.
But yeah, I'm glad that we had to have a little discussion about Pokemon. Kali, thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome.
For a little special bonus episode. Last week, Kevin, David, and I talked about Hans Gruber versus Snake Eyes. Next episode, I'm not going to tell you who it is yet, but I'm excited for everyone to see who that battle is. We took a little pause here in the middle of our Fantastic Throwdowns series to do an episode about Pokemon, and I'm glad that Kali got to join us today. Stay tuned for next time when we have another Throwdown and when David joins us again. I think it'll be a good episode. I'm really anxious to see how it turns out. So, but yeah, thanks for coming around, Kali and Kevin. It was good meeting with you, and let's continue to be the very best, like no one ever was, eh?
All right.
Gotta catch them all.
Yes, let's go catch them all. And we'll catch you all next time.
Boom, 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 boom.